Hello. Would you believe me if I told you that most calisthenics beginners are told lies that actually impede their progress and slow them down? It's all the fitness information on the internet. Some of it is bound to be right, and some of it is absolutely bound to be wrong. If you have fallen prey to any of the following 10 lies, you may be training harder than you need to and progressing slower than you actually could be. Now, what are my credentials? I am a kinesiologist, and I am 8 weeks into my journey of training calisthenics consistently. I too fell prey to some of these lies, and once I saw the light, I started to make progress a lot faster than I had been before. I've tried to start calisthenics many times in the past, and it is some of these lies that held me back from being consistent and making the progress that I am now. I'm talking from the exact stage that a lot of beginners find themselves in. The first lie is that I didn't need to train legs with calisthenics because the stimulus I was providing to my body would not be sufficient enough to help grow any strength in my legs at all. I was told it would be too easy to just do squats and I would just have to go to the gym and load my legs. But the reality is you can't just ignore your legs. Unless you want to look like you got 2 toothpicks for legs and a big upper body, a la Johnny Bravo style. But there's so many different ways you can work your legs in calisthenics. You don't have to just do normal squats. You can do more narrow squats, pistol squats, dragon squats, jumping squats, anything plyometric. You can become more explosive and more stable and have more control through the range of movement. You can increase your power, overall athletic ability, and balance. Now, of course, if you want to perhaps build your legs to make them look like a bodybuilder's, yes, you may have to lift weights in the future for that to happen. But for someone who hasn't been training weights or calisthenics at all, I'm talking like a beginner, you do a couple sets of squats and progressions for something a little more challenging, and you will feel it in your legs the next day. Trust me. You may eventually get to a point where calisthenics is no longer cutting it for how you want your legs to perform or look. But that doesn't mean you don't need to train them. You can still train them with calisthenics and then move on to weights later if that sort of aesthetic is something you desire to have. The next lie stops a lot of people from actually training calisthenics, even though they want to, that you have to be lightweight to train calisthenics. Training is for everyone. You don't have to be lightweight to train. But I actually had some people tell me that they couldn't do calisthenics because they weren't light enough yet. I kind of had to pause for a second because your strength to weight ratio is only going to get better as you train. So even if you might not be able to support your full body weight doing a push-up or a pull-up, there are lighter and easier progressions that you can do at home to build up to them, no matter what weight you're starting at. And as you get stronger and you get better at doing your progressions, it'll be easier to do the newer exercises and build up your strength. But if you don't train, you'll never get stronger. There's never an ideal weight or an ideal time to start training or working out or trying something new that you want to try. You just kind of have to do it if you want to do it. Don't let people's public perception hold you back. Unless, arguably you're doing something like completely immoral and wrong, then let public perception hold you back. But in terms of exercise, no. This is one that definitely got me when I first started training calisthenics and failed back in the day, was that you just had to do more reps. Whatever you did, just max out the reps for it. And that is how I got injured. I thought, okay, more reps, more repetitions of the exercise, that must mean I'm stronger, right? Then I would try a new skill or progression, and I wasn't any stronger when I tried to do it. The fact is, I was improving my strength endurance. I could do the same exercise longer, but my max strength didn't change. If you're looking for strength, you have to progressively make the exercise more difficult. Just like when you're lifting weights. If I go to the gym and I curl 10-pound dumbbells and I start at 10, and then eventually I get up to 100. If I go to lift the 50-pound dumbbells, just because I can curl the 10-pound dumbbells 100 times, doesn't mean I can pick up the 50 dumbbells and curl them once. But if I can curl the 10-pound dumbbells and then I find it's easy, and then I go up to the 20, and then the 30, then the 40, then the 50, I'm progressively increasing the load and I'll be able to curl the 50. The same principle applies for calisthenics. So keep in mind, strength comes from progressions, not just volume. Progressions are there for a reason. Another lie beginners here is that they should train every day because it's bodyweight training. It's not weightlifting. So you can just rep it out every day, which if you're doing it at a short and a light intensity, yeah, you probably can train every day. And in some cases, you might just want to try it for the love of the game, but only if it's for the love of the game. You don't have to train every day. Your body needs rest too. Emotionally, it might feel like you're Saitama, like One Punch Man, or you're in solo leveling. If you just train every day, surely you'll get stronger. But there's a curve. And for the amount of days you train in a week, you get diminishing returns past a certain point. I train 6 days a week for 20 minutes at a time. And I'm undulating the intensity. I only really train hard 3 times a week, max. My other sessions are a lot more playful, a lot more chill and low-key. I'm not going to failure every time. Too much training without proper warm-up, proper cool-down, and a decent routine can cause imbalances and overuse injuries. Tendinopathies, things that take a nice long time to heal from, that will then make you not be able to exercise for a certain period of time, fall off the train, make you reverse some of the progress that you've made, and make it harder to start again because those injuries do tend to nag if you don't do proper rehab for them. Unfortunate, I know. This next one, I've heard both sides of online, that calisthenics either, one, does not cause any injuries whatsoever because it does not involve lifting weights, and therefore the load is not high enough to injure you. And 2, that calisthenics gives you way more injuries than weightlift training because of all of the volume that you do, and it'll give you strains and sprains and tendinopathies. Like as soon as you start, your shoulders, elbows, and knees are doomed. Listen, you can get injured from doing anything. You can hurt yourself doing yoga, okay? Which people perceive to be a pretty low injury sort of environment. If you do anything without warming up, without having the proper strength or skill to do something, you can hurt yourself. Even athletes at the highest level in the Olympics hurt themselves. I don't know why people are so extreme on this. It's not one or the other. It's a yes and situation. Yes, you could hurt yourself doing it, and yes, you could also not hurt yourself doing it. This lie is something I have come to fundamentally not believe. That you need to master all of the basics before you even try or think of trying any skills. Listen, the skills is the fun part, okay? Have I mastered all of my basics? No, I have not. I still can't do bodyweight dips on bars on my own, which people consider to be like a basic. Even the basics are skills, and that you should have something a little more challenging from the progression you find easy that you're working towards, and something that you can measure yourself by just for fun to see if you're improving. Because guess what? If I wasn't practicing skills, if I wasn't trying to do handstands or pistol squats or like a tucked lever, like things that I'm still working on and struggling for, I would have gave up because I don't like to exercise just for the sake of exercising. If I don't have a specific goal or a reason for doing something, I'm not going to do it. Technique is something that sort of develops over time. And I think we're doing beginners a disservice by telling them to wait until they can do X amounts of reps and sets of boring skills before working on something a little more fun. Be reasonable. Pick a skill that's like slightly out of your level. Warm up before you try it. Look at the progressions to get to that skill you want to do. Start at the lowest progression and work your way up. It's not that deep. And there's not really like a skill you should learn first. Different people find different things difficult. That's like supposedly the elbow lever is an easy beginner skill to learn. However, that one is my nemesis. But I'm still trying it and it's still fun. I just wish I would stop falling on my face so much. Lie number 7 is that push-ups and pull-ups are enough. Push-ups and pull-ups are definitely a staple, I would say, of any calisthenics routine, but I certainly would not say that they're enough. You're leaving out all of your legs, your core, your posterior chain. Things are getting lost if you're only doing push-ups and pull-ups. You want to be hitting vertical push, vertical pull, horizontal pushing, horizontal pulling. You want to hit your legs, you want to hit your core, you want to hit all of it, not just push-ups and pull-ups. The next lie I've heard is that you can't build muscle with calisthenics. That bodyweight training just kind of lends itself towards endurance and nothing else. You can build muscle and you can build strength with calisthenics. Are you gonna look like Ronnie Coleman by doing calisthenics? No, you're gonna need gear and the gym for that one. But you can still build muscle with calisthenics. It is not just for endurance. You can in fact build strength. I couldn't do a single pull-up when I started to do calisthenics, and now I can do one pull-up. But can I currently do a single arm pull-up? No, because why? I don't have the strength to do that. If I keep training calisthenics, will I eventually gain the strength to do that? Yes. Advanced calisthenics skills both require skill and strength and balance. So yes, you will build some degree of muscle, just not Ronnie Coleman level of muscle. Lie number 9 is one I feel like most beginners kind of believe a little bit. Even if they say they don't believe it, in your heart you're like, I'm built different. I'm gonna learn those calisthenics skills so fast. Social media is out here making it look like people can just learn how to do a muscle up in 2 weeks. I don't know about you, but it took me 7 weeks to get a single pull up, let alone a muscle up. If I can do a muscle up by the end of the year, I'd be seriously impressed. These skills take weeks, they take months, some of them even years to learn. You're not just going to be able to start and do a planche right away. Not how this works. I wish. I'd love to just be able to move like Spider-Man, but not yet. Progress comes from consistent training, and then even when you can do a skill, sometimes you wake up and your body's just like, no skill for you today, and then you try it the next day and you can do it just fine. Progress is not linear and it is not fast, but it is worth it if you train consistently. Just don't compare yourself to people online when they get something faster than you or slower than you. Everyone is coming from different backgrounds, different skill levels. Lie number 10, perhaps the biggest lie, is that calisthenics is easier than weight training. Personally, I find calisthenics to be way harder than weight training for me emotionally. Things are as difficult as you let them be. I could go to the gym and lift 5-pound weights only and be like, weightlifting is so easy. Or I could do calisthenics and just do wall push-ups and go, oh my gosh, calisthenics is so easy. You need to be appropriately challenging yourself for the skill level, no matter what activity you're doing, be it weight training, sports, or calisthenics. I personally find it way easier to go to the gym and load up the barbell and do some bench presses than it is for me to do push-ups, because you're not catching me in a gym full of people bailing on a bench press. Obviously, if I was at risk of like squatting myself and I had no spotter, yes, I would bail out of it. But there's something about just moving the barbell that's like emotionally easier. It's like, okay, I've picked up something heavy, I can't let this fall and squat me. Whereas if I'm home training and I'm trying to do a pull-up or a push-up and I'm like shaking trying to move, I'm much more likely to just let myself fall. I'm alone in my room. No one's gonna see me fall except for me. That's just my case for why I think calisthenics is emotionally more difficult for me. But everything is only as hard or as easy as you let it be, depending on the progressions and the weight that you're lifting. Which is perhaps the main takeaway I would like you to get from this. And if you're just starting calisthenics, like I have been, feel free to stick around, like, comment, and subscribe as we all try to learn new things and dispel calisthenics myths and stick to our goals and just have an overall good time. In my last video, you can see me finally get my first pull-up.